Hey everybody, welcome to Money Chronicles, live from Fearless Investing Summit. I'm Johnny Sanquist,
And I'm Tori Hoppy.
and our guest is Joy Lere, co-founder of Shaping Wealth and a licensed clinical psychologist, which feels very cool to say. Like, you're the number one guest here, I think, solely because of that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very
And thanks for
kind.
joining us.
It's a joy to be here.
Yes. Well, Joy, I know this isn't your first nitrogen event. This is where we met, so
Yes.
I always love coming back to this event and always seeing you and your kids. But we always start out with the question of, what is your first money memory, and how did that help build the foundation of why you're so passionate about what you do today?
One of my earliest memories of money is I can remember having 3 little margarine containers. So I can't believe it's not butter containers because this was the 90s.
Yes.
Trans
Everybody
fats were
had
cool.
those, right?
But my mom had written with a Sharpie and masking tape, save, spend, give on each one of those. And I remember what it was like on Sunday nights, like getting my give ready to dump into my little black purse and bring that to church. Giving was something that I grew up, my parents farmed. The markets were abysmal when I was growing up, so they were hemorrhaging money. We had very, very little, but my parents instilled in us and showed us that you give whatever you have, you give. So like those margarine containers, that sets the stage for me. And that's something that's been just really, generosity is just really important for me as a mom, for me as a person, thinking about how am I a steward of what I have. So that idea of stewardship then goes far beyond money as well.
Yeah. So you're probably doing things differently with your kids, probably not using the margarine containers anymore, but like what do you do to guide them in that sort of principle?
Absolutely. There are no margarine containers in our house.
It would have been awesome if you were like, I kept them.
I'm crunchy granola, so we have glass jars
I
like you
appreciate
do.
that you say the crunchy
Love
granola, because
that.
I am also like a hybrid crunchy mom.
Yes, I am a hippie here. But in their glass mason jars are what they are earning. So I really wanted to instill in my kids what my parents instilled in me in terms of work ethic. This idea that where does money come from? Money comes from work. So their first business when we were in California, they had a little recycling business, and now they sell crunchy granola, fermented sauerkraut, and pickles, and sourdough to my crunchy granola mom friends.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
So, but when they are then making money, we're always asking questions to them. Okay, first and foremost, like my parents did, what are you going to give a portion of this to? How can you extend this beyond yourself? And then we're working on, obviously, there's a pot for spending. But saving, we've actually brought saving to the next level this last year, and they have their own ETFs. So it's so much fun watching them now as 8-year-olds invest in the market.
Yes.
And really talking to them about compounding and being like, do you really want to buy that Barbie doll?
Right.
Or what could this be for you down the
Right.
road? So
I feel like your kids too get the benefit of having a parent not only in the financial service space but also on the behavioral finance side of things, because you are instilling them what you are trying to teach our industry.
Yes.
And they're getting it so young. Like, I wish like I had that kind of training. My parents were a nurse and a park ranger, so very much into just like dumping into 401ks. It was never anything more than that, because that was just like how the generation invested.
Yeah.
And your kids are getting the both sides of like, hey, I understand like the behavioral side of this, but like you're also going to understand the finance side of it.
yes, yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, the behavioral side of it, I was just going to launch off of that because you're a psychologist, but you're also co-founder of like one of the hottest up-and-coming tech brands, Shaping Wealth. I think you guys are you part of the demo drop coming up
We are.
in a couple weeks at Citywide.
Absolutely.
Just a little plug there. But
My partner, Brian Point, and I will be the first one out of the gate introducing Lydia to the world.
yes, and we're super excited
Yes.
about that. But I mean, before we ask about Lydia, how'd you make that jump? How'd you get into where you are now?
How did I end up here?
Yes.
Yes.
How did you end up here?
Yeah, what's your inciting moment here?
So as a clinical psychologist, I'm trained to like listen really closely for patterns. And in my clinical practice, something struck me, regardless of what brought someone into psychotherapy, what the presenting concern was. As I got to know their story, money somehow became part of the picture. And I don't think that we should be surprised by that, because money is adjacent to so many things in our life. Like
Right.
we tie it to identity and self-work. So if someone is having like work challenges and stress, like we're talking about money,
Yeah.
often it's a source of stress and conflict in partnerships. So when I'm working with a couple, often money is coming into the equation.
Yeah.
When I'm dealing with people who are experiencing a lot of anxiety, financial stress often is a huge source of that. So I was struck by that. And so growing up, I was always interested in business and finance. So I was then introduced by Daniel Crosby to the world of BFI. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's the convergence of
Yeah.
these two things. And here we are today.
Good old Daniel Crosby.
Yes. It's a good guy, bringing good people in.
Yes.
Excellent.
We always start with what was your first memory of money, but we also love to ask what was the biggest mistake you've ever made and how did you learn from it?
I would say this is probably an ongoing mistake, and I wouldn't say that this is necessarily one and done, because I've struggled with this over and over again, and I'm like working on it because we are all works in
Always,
progress.
yes.
But I recognize that because I grew up in an environment where we had so little, like there are times when like my brain will like spin and stress out about like something very small and negligible. Like this sounds silly and it was like almost embarrassing to admit, but I will like think about what's the 10 cent difference between like 2 cans of food. Like
Yes.
this is like absolutely unneeded, but the amount of energy I've had to learn, I need to just be careful about the amount of energy I allocate to those small things when like the percentage of the big picture, like that doesn't matter. I don't have to like
Yeah.
stress out about it.
Yeah, and I don't know, I struggle with that too, because I'm always like, I'm a very big like compare and contrast, and my husband's like, the amount of effort and time that you've divulged into saving like $1.50.
Yes.
He's like, you know, your time is worth more. No, he's
Yeah.
like, don't go off and like do something wild. But like,
Right.
he's like, the idea that you were like stressing between this bag of rice and that one,
It's
yeah. And I was like, I was like, you're absolutely right. But like, it's hard to like shut that piece of your
Yeah.
brain off.
Yeah.
Because I also love getting a deal.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't,
Deals
maybe
feel
There's
good.
a dopamine hit.
There's like one person in every relationship who's
there's
that way,
always
right?
one
Yeah.
person in the relationship.
And the psychologist in me understands, like, the reasons we do what we do, usually at one point, like, that was adaptive. Like, that helps you get to where you are, and it fit a certain circumstance and environment, or maybe that was passed down from a generation before where that was very necessary. Like,
Right.
that kind of stuff was very important for my parents. So
Yeah.
I just kind of inherited that. But my brain our brains don't always hit refresh and be like, wait, I'm in a new environment. That is no longer, the threats aren't the same.
Yeah. And I'm sure your mom was the same as mine. Like, the weekly sit down with like the checkbook and
Oh, yes.
like actually writing everything out, and like,
Oh, yes, and balancing the checkbook.
yes, and my mom still does this to this day. Like, she does log in online. I will give her credit that she has now come to full circle of like logging in online. But like, I don't keep like a running checkbook like she does. She still does it, but like, I still log in on Sundays and look at our accounts, and like, I know kind of like what is going in and out. So like, yes, the idea and the environment has changed, but I'm still doing those same motions that they're doing. And
Yeah.
It's always so interesting when you like take a step back and you're like, oh, I'm basically doing the digital version of what my mom did every Sunday at
Yeah.
the kitchen table.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so take us back to Lydia, because I don't want to let this end
No.
Absolutely.
without getting a little bit more insight into what you guys have built, why it matters. Like, what can
Absolutely.
you tell us?
We have a cutting edge behavioral intelligence solution for the wealth management industry. You know, as we talk about the dual roles that an advisor has, a mechanic, the technical expertise, like that's in today's day and age, like that's not going to differentiate you.
Yeah.
But how do you come alongside of your client in their humanity and connect with that? Those are guidance skills. That's behavioral finance, leveraging positive psychology, emotional intelligence, neuroscience. So that's what our company really has built our foundation on, and now we've created Lydia. So an advisor can't always call me anytime, but what you can do is now you have Lydia on demand anytime. You can ask questions, consult with cases. There's a way you can role play. Okay, I've got this client, I've got this difficult situation.
Yeah.
Can you help me think through this, game plan, and strategize? And Lydia is powered by the corpus of knowledge and research and work that my business partner Brian Portnoy, Megan Lurtz, and Neil Beige and I have accumulated throughout our career. So it's not just talking to chat. It is we've created something very special.
It's like you took all 4 of your brains and digitized them.
Exactly.
Incredible.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I will be almost front row as long as there's shade. I will also be hiding in the shade. We are so excited for you guys.
Thank you.
The Shaping Wealth, we've followed your journey since you guys started, and it's so cool to see like the evolution of the product and how you guys are bringing BFI up in this space. So
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Yeah. Joy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It was a privilege.
thank you.